But for those that aren't aware, Cam Newton, I think about a month ago now at this point, maybe a month and a half ago, what made it short, because apparently he has a fucking podcast or something, because who doesn't nowadays? That's kind of the pot calling the kettle black, but whatever. We have a podcast, so this is what it is. He has a podcast, and he made a short clip where he was calling Jared Goff and Dak Prescott and Tua Tagovailoa and Brock Purdy game managers. And if you don't know too much about football, it doesn't sound bad. You're like, okay, who cares? People that do know football and understand it's almost a derogatory term. It's almost an insult. You're implying that you're not really having a positive effect on the game. You're kind of just there trying to survive, is essentially like you're doing enough to be okay, but like you're not doing anything to like help your team, right? You're being carried. In the group project, you're the guy that just showed up with paper and pencils, but you didn't actually like make the diagram, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to put it.
So to follow up with that, after Brock Purdy has now led 2 playoff comebacks, he's looked fantastic. He helped lead that comeback against Detroit with his legs, clearly just putting the team on his back when everything wasn't going right. Cam Newton came back with another short, which was, well, I didn't say Brock Purdy sucks. I said he's a game manager, and he's not, if you look at his team, he's not even one of the 10. You have to be one of the top 3 players on your team to be a game changer, which very arbitrary, doesn't make any fucking sense. And Brock Purdy is not even in the top 10. Again, very arbitrary, doesn't make any sense. So we decided we wanted to take this concept and kind of look into it and see if there's any validity to it. What does it mean? What does it make sense? Because this is how stupid sports talk has gotten nowadays. This is what we have to discuss. If a quarterback is one of the 10 best players on his Super Bowl contending team. BA, do you want to start this off, or how do you want to do this?
Yeah, so I can give you my thoughts. I know you have some points. Don't want to take up your points. So let's talk about his actual quote. Okay, I actually took this in a very matter of fact sense. Is Purdy really the 49ers really have 10 players better than Brock Purdy? Okay, so let's look at it through this lens. Short answer is no. Okay, and the way I kind of thought about this is I looked at the 49ers roster and looked at each player, right? And I was thinking about the ranking of said player in each of the players' field, right? So look at Trent Williams comparison to the tackles, Nick Bosa comparison to edge rushers, George Kittle in comparison to tight ends. So I think you get it. So yeah. I really thought about this. Okay. I was like, okay, let's look at the All-Pro list. How many of these guys are All-Pro players this season? Trent is an All-Pro. Fred Warner is All-Pro, and I'm pretty sure George Kittle was also All-Pro. Okay, so it's 3. I was like, okay, you can probably make an argument those 3 players are better than Brock Purdy. Now you might be saying to yourself, well, Nick Bosa. Okay, I did not forget about him. In my mind, in terms of right now, this season, I kind of had Brock Purdy and Nick Bosa kind of tied, right, in regarding to how well they played this season. Because Nick Bosa wasn't All-Pro guy this year, which I'm pretty sure he wasn't. You guys can fact check me on that.
No, he only had 10.5 sacks this year.
Right, he kind of had a down season, but he is a former defensive player of the year. So okay, I kind of took that into a factor, whatever. So those are, I named 3 guys who are either top 1 or top 2 in their field this season. Maybe you can make the case that they are better than Brock Purdy. I'll keep my point there for right now. I know you had some thoughts about that too. So I'll let you kind of go off there, and then I can give the rest of my thoughts later.
Okay, so this is where I'm going to pick it up right where you dropped it off. And I do really appreciate the effort you're putting into with, where guys in their field compare. Absolutely. Here's my problem with it, right? These guys don't play the same fucking position. So you can look at it in that kind of comparison, but again, it's still pretty arbitrary. Brock Purdy might be the 8th best quarterback in the league, right? But is the 8th best quarterback in the league better than the best fullback in the league? Is the 8th best quarterback in the league better than the top 3 edge rush? What's the metric system? What's the comparison here? It's just all subjective. It's all opinion and opinion. It was just it's this is what bothers me the most about this, and it's right because people go, well, Cam Newton's allowed to have his opinion. You're right. Cam Newton's allowed to have his opinion, just like everyone else is, just like we do. We have a show. That's why we do this, right? He's an MVP quarterback. Cam Newton is. He played in the league 9-10 years, I think. Former number one overall pick, Heisman winner at Auburn. He's played football the majority of his life. This man knows football. He knows it. He knows the ins and outs of it, right? So if you make this kind of claim of Brock Purdy is a game manager, right? Why are you not giving us something to back that up? Why are you not dropping football knowledge on us to back it up? Brock Purdy's a game manager because when you see him in the concept breakdown here, and this is a concept brain, it's a dagger route with this to that to here underneath the hold to hold the backers. Brock Purdy can't work outside that. The play goes wrong. He takes a sack or he just has to throw it away, right? This is what a game changer does. See, Patrick Mahomes breaks it out of the pocket. He makes the play right even when it's wrong. Give us some football knowledge, dude. Like, you know your shit. You're supposed to know your shit. You did this for a long time at the highest level. Why are you giving us Nick Wright, Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless level of analytics, of hypotheticals and arbitrary bullshit? Like, you know, his thing of like, well, you have to be the top three. Says who? Says what? Right. They don't play the same position. You can't compare them. It's not apples to apples. It's apples to oranges. If you looked at it like this, right? If you went, because like what you were saying, right? Players in their field versus each other. Okay, cool. That makes sense. If you had to lose one player for the rest of their season, would you rather lose Kyle Juszczyk, the top fullback in the league, or Brock Purdy? Who do you think the 49ers would rather go without for the entire season? What about George Kittle versus Brock Purdy? Juice is
nice. No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
What about
definitely Juice?
Yeah. Or what about Talanoa Hufanga, a former All-Pro safety last year in his third year? Who are they taking, Hufanga or Brock Purdy? It's Brock Purdy. Every time. There's maybe one player, two players, maybe they're taking over Brock Purdy to lose for an entire season. Not saying that they want that, but it's the quarterback is still the most important position. So if we're talking about value on a team full of all pros, he's still the most important person out there. You're not winning without him. We already saw it in the NFC Championship game last year. Right? You can't put anyone back there, even with all the all-pros they have, and just play and win. They looked fucking terrible. They couldn't move the ball with Josh Johnson back there, who's a veteran fucking quarterback. He's been in the league fucking 15 years. Could not do anything with all the Avengers around him. It's so frustrating, all this topic. This is what sports talk has gotten to, is we have former MVPs not giving us analysis and breakdown and dropping football knowledge on us, differentiating in between a game changer and a game manager. And this is why I stand by that statement of Brock Purdy's good, but he's not changing the game, which maybe there is an argument. I don't know. Maybe there is an argument for that. But you're just telling us he's not a top three player on his team? Based on what? Yeah. I'll let you continue. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. I just kind of want to bounce off your thoughts there and kind of run out my thoughts too. Yeah, it's very like you already said, Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith type of takes. Like, where's the film breakdown? Where's the fleshed out thoughts at? Like, where's the evidence and the data behind it? Like, do play in like the league for a long time. We kind of expect more out of him for that. But the 2 points I also want to hit on too. Or it's kind of coincide with your point. There has to be a point between like an importance to your team and like, I guess, overall best football player. Because to your point, like if before the season, you know, Kyle Shanahan saw some fairy genie, okay, and was like, hey, I'm going to take away one player from your team for the entire season, right? Who do you want me to take away? And he had a list of players who was, you know, ranked off Cam Newton's thoughts of top players in the 49ers, and Brock Purdy was like 12th, right? Do you think Kyle was saying, oh, yeah, let's take away Brock Purdy over like a Fred Warner? Let's take Brock Purdy out of there over like a Debo. There's no way in hell, because quarterback is the most important spot on every damn team, right? We all know this. The hardest job to do. It's the most important job to do. Yeah, you could have an Avenger levels cast out there, but to your point, you have a third string quarterback there playing with them. The results are not going to be good. Okay. Yeah. So that's kind of the first point. And then just looking at it in like a black and white sense. Okay. We look at Purdy's stats. He almost led like every QB metric in the league this season. Either he was top 1 or like top 5. Okay. I don't know if you can do that if you're just a game manager, right? Because you're not going above and beyond to make plays. And if you're going above and beyond to make plays to help your team win, you're hence therefore a game changer. So I just don't see how the two could be like the same thing. I don't know. And again, I don't have all the historical data in front of me right now. I don't know how many game managers, aka average quarterbacks, led the league in every single metric. Like you have to go beyond and above to make plays. Like out of script to make throws and rhythm. Like that's Brock Purdy's superpower, right? And my last point. I know you want to say something. I want to make this last point. If someone came to me and said, "Hey, Brendyn, you have to build a new NFL team. Okay, here's your 49ers roster. Who are you picking to start your team?" I would probably go with one player over Brock Purdy, and that's Trent, because it's tough to find a great left tackle. It's even way more rare to find the best left tackle, right? But after left tackle, you got to go with quarterback. Again, that's the most important spot. And Purdy has shown that he can do things that other guys can't do. Guys, he came into the league last year and went on an 8-0 run as a rookie. Took his team to an NFC title game. And they only really lost that game. Now, Eagles fans would say no. But I think they really lost that game because Purdy got his damn elbow like blown out in like the first freaking quarter. You know what I mean? Yep. He wins games. He makes plays. Game changer, period.
And just to give, again, further data, actual situations that have happened and not hypothetical happens. Brandon Ayuk, the 2 seasons he's gone for 1,000 yards in his career have both come when Brock Purdy was a starting quarterback for the majority of the season. Last year and this year. Before that, Brandon Ayuk had not hit 1,000 yards. Now all of a sudden he's an all-pro, and of course that's on him developing as well and being a fantastic player. I'm not taking anything from Brandon. He loved the dude. Fantastic, great guy. That's an example, right? 2021, a lot of the same team, right? It's what it was, a lot of the same team. Jimmy Garoppolo, it didn't look like this. They weren't averaging the same amount of points. They couldn't get past the NFC Championship game. They kept getting stuck at the NFC Championship game since 2019 under Jimmy Garoppolo. A game manager, a guy where if the play breaks down, you're like, fuck it, dude, please throw it away. Oh my gosh, I had another data point in my head. Oh, a couple of ones, yes. At no point was Jimmy Garoppolo, with, again, a lot of the same cast, Trent Williams, George Kittles, the Debos, the Freds, and everything else, did he ever come close to leading the NFL in yards per game or in any of those major quarterbacking statistics? He just didn't. Never did. Same staff, never did.
Right.
It doesn't happen. No, it doesn't. At no point did it have, at no point did these 4 all-star players reach 1,000 scrimmage yards each. This is, I think, the first time we're tied for the first time that's ever happened, where 4 skill position players on a team have all gone for 1,000 scrimmage yards. Kittle, Debo, Brandon, and Chris McCaffrey all went for 1,000 yards this year. It's never happened before.
Crazy.
Same staff last year, right? I mean,
right.
It's just, and my point I'm making with that is yes, obviously that's a great cast and they're helping lift Purdy up. You're not having those same kind of numbers if your receivers are leading the league in drops. Absolutely. But at the same time, he is lifting them up as well. He's getting them the ball in space. He's getting it on time and accurately and letting them make plays. He's giving them great back shoulder plays, allowing them a chance to make a play on the ball. It goes both ways, is my point on that. It's really is frustrating to see what sports talk has boiled down to is just these arbitrary, subjective thoughts that really don't amount to anything. And the minute you start thinking about this question at all, you really start going, this is fucking dumb. Like 10 better players than Brock Purdy. It
doesn't make any sense.
By whose standard? By whose measure?
Right.
Right? Like,
right.
What are we doing here? So we'll drop it there for right now. I'm sure we'll be making and talking about this again because it seems to be a topic everyone really loves to just harp on, which we know why. We won't put it on here. We'll put it in a future episode, I'm sure, but we know why. It's a very popular topic to keep debating and discussing. And for 49ers fans watching this and holding out hope that someday the media is going to love Brock Purdy, don't get your hopes up.
All right.
I hate to break it to you. I love him. B loves him. we think he's fantastic. But if you're thinking of these Nick Wright guys and Cam Newton guys are going to flip a script and start loving Brock Purdy, I don't see it happening. But if you guys go now, let us know what you think about this conversational piece at all. Is this even worth debating? What are your thoughts on sports commentary? Let us know in the comment section. Give us a like and subscribe. We do this every week, and we try not to give you arbitrary subjective shit that has no actual bearings or hypotheticals in the real world. So if this is where we're losing you, until next time, it's been Emmett, it's been B. We'll see you guys.